I'm going to redefine what kind of rich I want to be. I think all of us have, at least in some way, been raised to aspire to extreme levels of wealth. And I think that's a big part of the reason that the country I live in is experiencing such a political, social divide. I saw a creator the other day talking about her experience with becoming extremely wealthy from her influencing. And, you know, none of us will ever be Jeff Bezos. But, you know, and now I'm thinking, like, nor should we want to be. You know, obviously everyone has been having the discourse about how billionaires are something that shouldn't exist. And I think that's true, you know, but I think it's clear that not everyone agrees with that sentiment. I think a lot of people do, but it would be helpful, I would imagine, to give people something more realistic to strive for. That creator mentioned that her personal style, suffered as a result of moving into an extremely affluent area. She was talking about all the clubs that she could now get into that she had been so excited to see for the first time. And she got in, and literally every single person in there was just on their phone, not even talking to each other. Nobody was dancing. There was no anything except, I guess, the bragging rights of having been seen there. And when I think about my aspirations that I've had all my life, to be a star, to be rich, they have never involved that. Just going and being somewhere, you know. Even people in my life joke, oh, well, when you charter a private jet, you know, after you're famous, because I do thankfully have a lot of people that believe in me, you know, but they talk about private jets, and I'm like, I kind of really like flying with people. I like being in the airport, you know, and I think it would be cool to have access to the lounges, you know, and that's something I want to do someday, but it's not, you know, so I can get away from the riffraff. Like, I don't separate myself morally from people who make less and also more money than me. I don't think you're better than me if you make more money. I don't think I'm better than you if you make less, you know, in the same token. And I think it's a plague that people like to feel so like they need somebody below them to make them feel better. I saw another video today from a creator. I was on Instagram too much today, and that's part of why I'm flipping around the camera and making content instead of watching it, because oh my god, my brain is dead and I'm trying to revive it. Another creator was talking about how comparison is the thief of joy, and I think that's true. You know, I mentioned this in relation to people needing someone to feel superior to. I love the sentiment that you should be in a race with yourself, because I think that's the only person that you can surpass in a measurable way. You know, because you have the same starting point. You know, every time you raise yourself, you have the same background, you have the same past, and, you know, you can choose to learn. You can choose to intentionally cultivate things about yourself. You can choose to intentionally try to go where opportunities are created for you to get what you want out of life. And I've been guilty too of being jealous, you know. And I've had people stop being friends with me because they're jealous of, you know, something they perceive that I have. And, you know, I think that's not the way to be. That phrase, perception is reality, really pisses me off too. Because it's like, oh, well, this is what it looks like, so that must be what it is. And maybe I have a brain that is too literal, but I think that's perhaps some of the dumbest rhetoric I've ever heard. So anyway. Well, also in the vein of perception, it just hit me, you know, in aspiring to be wealthy, you know, to some extent, I've heard the sentiment, you know, dress for the job you want, not the one you have. And I do believe in that, but like, you know, also believe you're already there. And girl, I believe that I will be. And I think that you need to focus more on the path to get there, the journey, instead of the destination and looking like you're already at the destination. And the destination is where you live. That's boring. That really is boring. Even if I hit the arbitrary number in my mind that I feel like will make me feel financially secure and make me feel like I'm the wealthy that I've always wanted to be, I'm not just gonna sit there and be like, okay, yay, I have money now, fantastic. What would be the point? Okay, I have it. Nice. I have it. I'm gonna keep it. I have it. Okay. Well, I still have so much life to live. So, all of this mentioned to culminate my ADHD train of thought into these bullet points. I want to redefine for myself, in my race with myself, what sort of wealth I want to aim for. I could be super cynical and say, if it's even possible. The optimist in me says that it will be again someday. I do want to be comfortable. I think that some of, you know, the like Ralph Lauren, Loro Piana, some of that stuff is really, truly beautiful, elegant. Some of those pieces I'd really like to have in my wardrobe someday. But I think even in the upper echelons, there is a uniformity that is detrimental to all the tenets of self. Any sort of uniqueness that you could have snuffed out in favor of, you know, looking the way you're supposed to when you're wealthy and of a certain class, you know, and that is so boring. Wear it because it's your style. Wear it because it's something you actually want to wear, not because, oh, well, I have a Birkin. Birkins are beautiful. I'd love to have one someday, but not because I want to be like, oh, my Birkin, this, oh, this whole thing, you know, throw it around. I think it's a beautiful bag, and I am a sucker for pretty design. I am a designer, and I love to see the work of other designers, and that is a beautiful, beautiful, and obviously very functional piece. But never will I let it be my personality that I want a Birkin, and if I ever get one, that I have a Birkin. Wealth to me should be something that frees you. Not something that takes you out of the box you're in and puts you into another one. So we'll see if I can put my money where my mouth is and become the kind of wealthy I want to be. Not the kind of wealthy that has been prescribed that I should want. Anyway, thanks. Bye.